The River Travel Podcast is about travel stories along America's rivers and the road trips that will take you there. Come with us as we chat with festivals, attractions, eateries, and destinations that call River Valleys home. Come for a visit and find out more at rivertravelmagazine.com.
On this episode, we are chatting with Kristina Vonberge, Executive Director of the Little Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau, based out of Little Falls, Minnesota. So what are you excited for visitors to see in Little Falls?
Well, Little Falls has opened its doors like never before. There's outdoor events on top of all of our nature trails. And what we have is we have Crane Meadows, which is a nature preserve. We have Charles Lindbergh State Park. We, believe it or not, have a really great secret. Camp Ripley has 53,000 acres. It is open to the public with the military museum right on Camp Ripley. But they also have a beautiful trail that goes from their campground for military folks all the way, probably 6 miles, and then you turn around and walk it back. And the trees cover the road, kind of like a wood-covered bridge back in the day. And our trails lead between Weyerhaeuser Museum and Charles Lindbergh State Park. And you can go between the two. There's 8 miles of trails between those two facilities. So if you say, what can we go explore and what can we go do? I feel like Little Falls has more than the 7 attractions, which are the Lindbergh Historic House, the Weyerhaeuser Museum. You have Great River Arts, which is our art center. You also have Camp Ripley Military Museum. And then we have a Minnesota Fishing Museum and Hall of Fame. And we have if you've heard of it, the Franciscan Sisters is a convent that has been around since 1890. They have walking grounds and beautiful gardens. And when COVID allows them to open the door, then they will open the door for tours. We also have a Cass Gilbert Depot. And so I'm currently going around Minnesota looking at cool mansions and museums since we didn't have it a couple years ago. So my thing is we have 2 lovely mansions. My favorite is Linden Hill. It's one of our attractions. June through September, so Memorial Day through Labor Day, they do tours on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. And when they do tours, they walk you through the grounds. They walk you through the Weyerhaeuser family and the Musser family that started Pine Tree Lumber Company in 1890. And it really talks about how Little Falls, boom, got their place on the map at the beginning of the Mississippi River. So that is my must-see. If you are going to come to our town, come to the Visitors Bureau. If Linden Hill is open during the time you're in town, great, but we can give you enough information to be dangerous and walk around the grounds and read the placards. And so that's really cool. And my last attraction that I do like to talk, because I popped off, we had 7 of them, Pine Grove Zoo. That zoo has also been there since 1913, and it is still here today. It is standing in one of the Minnesota last standing white pine forests, and it's beautiful. And the zoo now has otters, kangaroos, Siberian tigers. They have monkeys, which are a new ad from 2 years ago. And this zoo looks like, in my opinion, a mini Minnesota zoo. They're handicap accessible. They have strollers. And when you go in there, they have a spot to feed the donkeys and emu. And I walk around Little Falls and I say to myself, this is a fantastic year.
You know, we took a trip up there and we got to visit the Charles A. Lindbergh State Park. We also went to the zoo, which you referenced. You know, there's all these great attractions in Little Falls. But what else, you know, throughout the year, what kind of festivals or special events do you have in the area?
All right. Some of our special events. In early June, we have what we call, and I'm not cussing, we call it the Dam Festival. But we have a dam in the middle of town. So we have a festival to celebrate our dam. And that is always the 3rd Saturday in June. You have activities for all ages. We have one event. It is relatively new to town, and it's a huge success. It's called Markets and Music on the Mississippi. It is the 4th Thursday in June, the 4th Thursday in July, and the 4th Thursday in August every year. And so at the 3 to 9 p.m., they had 100 vendors, but they are right along the Mississippi River. People are shopping and browsing. And then music starts at 6 o'clock. There's a huge kids area. How to Raise a Farmer, which is one of the vendors. They brought the Dairy Princess, gave away string cheese, and then they brought bunnies and chickens, and we had a face painter and a balloon artist. And it was really a huge family type gathering. So the first annual was this year. So next year, look forward to that as well. Then we also have Ride the River. That was a first time event that will go on next year as well. That is a canoe or kayak opportunity from Belpré Park to La Berger Park. It is a fundraiser, and then there was a celebration with live music, food trucks, and some vendors. And then we do have a county fair as well. That is a 3-dayer at Morrison County Fair every year. And we have things like men versus beast and strange events that you may not see other places. But it brings people to town because it's your rodeo, it's your demolition derby, it's that cool stuff. But in September, we have this fantastic thing called the Little Falls Arts and Crafts Fair. So it's always the weekend after Labor Day, no matter what the calendar looks like. And vendors set up on the street. So there's about 2 miles, one direction, and a mile north and south. Anywhere you turn, you probably don't want to be in a car because you want to be walking along the street shopping. Food areas, everything. But they had 600 plus vendors last year, and that is run by the Little Falls Chamber of Commerce.
So, that's a lot of information, for people to come and check out those different festivals throughout the year. What is something that you would like to do? If you had an afternoon in Little Falls, what are those few things that you'd like to do? What's your favorite activities?
What I would do is I would go to the Visitors Bureau, which is the Rosenmeyer home, and they're open every day, all year long, Monday through Fridays, and in the summer on Saturdays. Or if you're not there when a person is there, go to that Little Falls MN website. We have created itineraries, and an example would be come to town. I would meander the grounds at Linden Hill. If you can squeeze in any time of the year, take a tour because they're on the Mississippi River. They're fantastic. And then I would also stop at the Shops of Little Falls, which is a community project with about 75 different type of vendors inside. And then they're right on the downtown. But since you're down there, it's an old-fashioned downtown from the late 1800s. If you're walking in and out of those buildings, what I love to share with the people visiting is that the ceiling tiles are 16 by 16 tiles, and those buildings have been there since the 1800s. We also have secret underground tours that we did videos for called Hidden Treasures on our website. And what we did is we went in, like Seattle, Washington. They have underground tours. We created our underground tours. So before you come to town, take a peek at those. And while you're exploring downtown, maybe you're getting a beer, maybe you're going to my favorite restaurant, which is called AT The Black and White. And that stands for Amanda and Thomas, who own it. And it was the Black and White Cafe since, I believe, 1931. But they have Le Cordon Bleu food. The 2 chefs are Le Cordon Bleu trained from Minneapolis. And she is a local resident, but they were awarded the best restaurant in Minnesota in 2016 from the Minnesota Restaurant Association. So that's what I would do. I would hit a trail or two at the Lindbergh or at the Crane Meadows, check out what it really looks like, walk Maple Island Park, and then take that tour and stroll downtown to either the ice cream shop or the art center or the restaurant.
So for someone who's never been there, is there anything that's, hidden treasure for people that maybe have never been there?
All right. Well, I feel like that Camp Ripley Trail that I spoke of earlier, that is beautiful. That is something not everybody gets to see. You have to seek it out and head to Camp Ripley to go to the Military Museum and then drive around and find that beautiful trail. I would think one of my secrets is going to be the Black and White restaurant because of the retro inside. Everything inside of the Black and White is retro. So it's old stuff from the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, but the food is modern and fantastic. It's a really great space. And then if you ever say, I really wish I had more info, I would always send them to littlefallsmn.com because we have everyone's event. We have all of the attractions, all of the lodging, and the pretend itineraries that you can kind of say, hey, this is what we want to do.
Experience the Great American Road Trip and take a ride on the nation's scenic byways and backroads that highlight rivers throughout the United States. Explore the people, places, and culture of river towns throughout the U.S. Visit rivertravelmagazine.com. You can subscribe to the River Travel Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.